What up? Happy 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. It's the W.E.S.T podcast. I am your host, of course, Mots. And just want to say Happy New Year again. Hope everybody made it through 2025 and I have nothing but blessings and well wishes for you for 2026. Want to give a shout out to everybody that's still writing 1/25, January 3rd, 2025. So if anybody's still writing 2025, shout out to you. How long does it take you to remember to stop writing 2025 or the year prior? Me, it literally takes about a month for me to stop writing the year previous. So hopefully I don't have to write anything. Hopefully everything I do is going to have the correct date on it already pre-printed or from my phone. So, I digress. Speaking of 2025, I think Tony Khan, if you don't know, he's the owner or CEO of AEW. I think he can win 2025. And here's why. Hear me out. Okay, because number one, his company, AEW, swept the Sports Illustrated 2025 Wrestling Awards, took pretty much every award there was to get. Promotion of the Year, Female and Male Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Breakout Performer, just about you name it, they took it. And here's another aspect of it. The Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what I want to talk about. So, and nobody's talking about them. So, if you don't know, he kind of owns the Jaguars. Well, his dad does, Amir Khan. Amir Khan actually is the registered owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but of course, you know, Tony's heavily involved. Of course, AEW during the pandemic used their facility in the stadium, Daly's Place. And but they might win the Super Bowl, and with that, Tony Khan would have won 2025 to me, because if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've ripped off 7 straight wins in a row. No other team going into the playoffs has that win streak. Also, it looks like they could possibly lock up not only the number 1 seed in their division, the AFC South, but they could lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC Conference, which would give them a first round bye in the playoffs if things go right. And it doesn't stop there. The fact that nobody is even talking about the Jags, everybody's actually denying the Jags. They're just like, Jacksonville Jaguars, no. See, I told everybody that would listen, the trouble started for the Rams when everybody noticed them. When everybody started giving them praise, everybody started glazing them. That's when the Rams fell off. And that was that Carolina game. And that was when the Rams started feeling them. You just knew. I didn't want to believe it, but you just knew everything was going to their heads. They were getting big-headed. They were getting comfortable. But nobody's talking about the Jags and Trevor Lawrence and the good job that the coach has done. It goes one step further. Once they make it to the playoffs, which they've clinched a spot, there's going to be no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen is going to be literally limping into the playoffs in a wild card spot. You would think without those quarterbacks being in there, Josh Allen would be the beneficiary. No, it's the Jacksonville Jags. And the Super Bowl is all about who's hot at the right time. So I'm just saying, Tony Khan could win 2025. So let's get into the news of the week.
The big story of the week was this.
So it's been not yet announced, but highly rumored that the partnership between NXT and TNA is expected to continue through 2028, according to Ryan Clark of eWrestling News. He wrote an article saying that he's gotten word from Body Slam, another news source, that the companies are reportedly discussing dually branded shows and pay-per-views, or what we call them, or what they call them now, premium live events. So the partnership, it started back in 2025. If you remember, it kind of shifted because when AEW was formed, Vince McMahon was still in control of the WWE, just to give you a whole backstory on the whole TNA thing. So basically, when AEW started, AEW championed this cause of WWE is destroying wrestling, let's bring wrestling back. It involved TNA, they bought ROH, they bought the rights to ROH. They formed alliances with New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL Wrestling in Mexico. And basically, they were going to take on WWE as a united front of all of the more independent and second tier promotions. But since Triple H has taken over, he kind of, I call it, fixed what Vince McMahon broke. He invited the other like independent wrestlers, didn't have them change their name, acknowledge their backstory, their backgrounds, and where they came from. I mean, heck, he's been saying, or he's been letting the wrestlers say Bullet Club like all over WWE programming. Even John Cena announced in one of his matches, his last matches with AJ Styles, that AJ was the best leader of the Bullet Club. So WWE under Triple H and I guess now TKO has opened its doors, opened their forbidden door to working with independent or lesser promotions, which led to the partnership with TNA, which was crazy. So that started in 2025, and that has worked well. And once TNA starts airing on AMC, that's going to make it all the more better. It's going to get TNA and NXT stars more exposure, which is what NXT is supposed to do. It's supposed to get all the up and coming, the next generation stars out there, getting them established. So that's going to be something to look out for in 2026. Another thing to look out for in 2026, another rumor, is Chris Jericho is expecting to be making a WWE return soon. His contract with AEW expired on December 31st. It expired on New Year's Eve. And so as of the first of the year, he's a free agent. And a lot of people are speculating that he could return as soon as this coming Monday on Raw, which would be kind of something special because this coming Monday would be the 1 year anniversary of Raw moving to Netflix. That might be something. Other people have speculated that he will return in the Royal Rumble, which will be more epic. How do we know this and how has this been pieced together? Well, Chris Jericho himself on his own podcast has actually talked down about the production value in AEW, and he's gone out of his way to praise what's going on in NXT. And on another podcast, he said that nothing's for sure about him except for one thing. He will be back in the ring in 2026. So we expect to see Chris Jericho return to the ring in 2026. So he's going to have probably the best 2026, but we're concerned with who's... That's right. It's about that time where I'm going to break down what's going on in each promotion. And all you need to know, because wrestling is on basically every night from Saturday to Saturday, all you need to know to know what's going on in every storyline is to look at the main event, which normally happens at the end of each show. So I'm going to break down the end of each show and let you know what's going on. So starting off Saturday with, well, we would start off Saturday with Collision, but AEW actually had its World's End pay-per-view, which is the last pay-per-view of the year. And the main event, recently returned MJF in a fatal four-way beat Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland to become your new AEW champion. And Collision normally is on Saturdays on TNT at about 5 p.m., but AEW is known to shift its times, so you kind of got to watch out for AEW's times. You got to look it up before the show airs, because they, like I said, may have changed the times to avoid colliding with WWE's programming. So that's something to note. Monday Night Raw on Netflix every Monday, 5 p.m. sharp. You had the Usos back together as a tag team. They beat AJ Styles and Dragon Lee to become the WWE Tag Team Champions for an unprecedented 9th time. So congratulations to the Usos. NXT, you can catch that every Tuesday on the CW at 5 p.m. Ricky Saints, with a little bit of help from Javon Edwards knocking out the referee, defeated Javon Edwards with a low blow. So that's what happened with NXT. A little bit of backstory on that. Ricky Saints was the NXT World Heavyweight Champion until Obafemi came back. And after he lost the title, Ricky Saints became kind of salty. And Javon Edwards was kind of next up in line to go after the title. Ricky Saints didn't like that. And so Ricky Saints turned his anger toward Javon Evans, the young OG. Your boy is bouncy. So let's go to Wednesday. And you know what that means. Dynamite. AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays at TBS at 5 p.m. Dynamite airs more regularly than Collision. Collision, they shift around. It could be even on different days. It doesn't even have to be on Saturdays. Dynamite is normally every Wednesday at 5 on TBS. And you had Willow defeating Mercedes Moné, taking the TBS championship off of Mercedes. You thought that it wouldn't be done because she and Harley Cameron, the Babes of Wrath, just won the AEW tag titles. So shouts out to Willow Nightingale. And for those of you that don't know, before Mercedes Moné even started in AEW, Willow Nightingale was her first major feud. They fought in Japan over the women's strong title. So that's kind of cool that kind of went full circle. That started before Mercedes Moné got to AEW and culminated at the end of 2025 with Willow Nightingale beating Mercedes for the belt. All right, TNA, Thursdays on Access TV for now. They're going to be moving, like I said, to AMC on January 15th. And your main event there, it had Kazarian defeating Bear Bronson to defend his TNA championship successfully. And at the end of the show, or at the end of the match, Mike Santana, the former TNA champion, came down to address Kazarian from the crowd and basically told Kazarian that they're going to have a match for the TNA title on their AMC debut January 15th. Finally, SmackDown, Fridays on the USA Network. It's now 3 hours long. The main event was Damian Priest defeating Aleister Black in an ambulance match. So what that is you have to beat your opponent so bad that they can't get up, and you have to get him into the back of an ambulance, open the doors, get him in there, shut the doors, and you win the match. So Shouts out to Damian Priest. And who is living their best week? I'm going to give that to TNA. And kind of NXT combined, because everything that's happening with their partnership, I think they're going to do big things in 2026. So TNA right now is... And when we come back, we're going to have Mott Sports West. We're going to find out what I'm watching, what you watching, and we're going to do some food and travel. Peace.
Has bad credit been holding you back from getting a new car, a house, or a better job? Visit creditrepairfolks.com. They offer one-on-one consulting and will give you a personal roadmap to removing negative items and adding positive points to your credit score. The first consultation is free, and they're the only ones that offer a money-back guarantee. They also have payment plans available. So what are you waiting for? Visit creditrepairfolks.com today.
Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked.
That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins.
All right, y'all. It's time for Mott Sports West. I'm going to break down what's going on with the only three teams that matter, and that are the three teams that play here on the West Coast. That's Rams, Lakers, and Dodgers. So let's get into it, baby. Okay, starting off with the Rams. They remain in the 6th seed for the playoffs after their loss to Atlanta on Monday, going into the playoffs. And their next game against the Cardinals, with a 2-game losing streak, which is kind of bad. And since both the 49ers and Seahawks won this past weekend, yeah, that's even more bad news for the Rams, because they're probably going to meet them in the playoffs if they can get to them. They could get the number 5 spot, though, if they do beat the Cardinals on Sunday at the 1:30 window. And if the 49ers lose to the Seahawks tonight at 5 p.m., that's the game start time. So if they do move up to the number 5 spot, they will likely face the Carolina Panthers. If they stay at the number 6 spot, they're likely going to take on last year's champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving on to better news, the Lakers. Well, not so good news. Well, at least for somebody that's not a Laker but could have been. Center Mark Williams from the Phoenix Suns, he took shots at Lakers over his trade that was canceled that would have brought him to LA from the Charlotte Hornets. And if you remember, that was immediately after the Luka trade that was 11 months ago. Unfortunately, he didn't clear his physical, and the Lakers rescinded the trade. So on the Young Man in 3 podcast, Mark actually, recounted what happened and the timeline of him finding out. He was actually excited to come to LA. He thought he could play a major role as a big in their playoff run. And he also admitted that after the Lakers lost in the playoffs, he trolled them by tweeting a smiley face. So, in better news, the Lakers won against the Grizzlies last night, 128-121. They are currently holding the number 5 spot in the West. Jake LaRavia had 21 points. He was 3rd in scoring, where Austin Reeves normally is. He's out with injury. Of course, your leading scorers were Luka Doncic and LeBron James with 30 and 31, respectively. So the Grizzlies and the Lakers play again tonight at 6:30. All right, now the Dodgers. They've shored up their bullpen with the addition of Edwin Diaz as a closer. So the Dodgers are now shifting to looking for outfielding and power hitting Names being mentioned are Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker, according to Anthony Arroyo at Yahoo Sports. Tucker is a left-handed power hitter, and Bellinger is a versatile position player, and he's also previously been a Dodger. So they're both free agents right now, and that's what they're looking for. But what I'm looking to see right now is what you watching. All right, y'all. I've seen it, and I'm loving it. Although there was a couple plot holes that they could have done better with. I'm loving the series finale of Stranger Things. Season 5, Volume 2, sorry. I won't spoil anything for those that haven't seen it, but had a little tearjerker, had a couple tearjerker moments in there. I'm happy with it. And I want to give a shout out to the cast. And by the way, Monday night, what I forgot to mention, they teased a Stranger Monday Night Raw. So tune in Monday, because there's probably going to be a tie-in with Stranger Things and Monday Night Raw. Probably the cast members are going to show up, something like that. So that's what I'm watching right now. So going from that, all right. So I was recently, I know that was a horrible transition. I'm going to admit it. A horrible segue. But anyway, to wrap things up, I was in St. Louis a few days ago, and I wanted to try something that you can't get in LA or California. So I found a place that does chicken tenders and nuggets and wings called Slim Chickens. Now, they're kind of comparable to Raising Caines. Of course, Raising Caines is nationwide. You can get them just about everywhere. So I made a video doing a side-by comparison of Slim Chickens and Raising Caines, which you can see. I'll put the link in the description. And you can check out what I thought of. And you can, if you're ever in St. Louis, try it for yourself. But I suggest keeping on the lookout to when Slim Chickens does come to the West Side. And with that, I will see y'all next week. Mott's Podcast out.